Hello, everyone. Welcome to MT4 Professional. I want to make sure everyone can hear me and see me. So if you'll quickly let me know, I'll be more than glad to get going with the presentation. You should be able to see my screen and hear my voice. I think that's good. All right. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started then. This is being recorded. It will be made into a video and sent out to you if you registered for today's webinar via email. So you'll get an email stating when the recording is ready. Today, we're going to be talking about trading strategies using MT4Professional Scanner. And we'll be talking about the scanner in detail and showing you lots of details with regards to that. I want to make sure everyone knows that MT4Professional and Resilient Traders is not a registered trading advisor, so we cannot give you specific trade advice. We cannot tell you to buy or sell any specific security or instrument, but what we can do is teach and train you how to use our platform on the live edge of the market. Futures, stocks, Forex options, and cryptocurrency have a large potential for reward, but they also have a large potential for risk. You need to be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results. You can lose more money than you invest. So please get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets, and never ever trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. My name is Randy Lindsay. I'm your trade coach today, operations director at MT4Professional. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinal. He's our product development director and technology guru. So we are here today to help you get going and to teach you a little bit more about our platform. We're going to talk about trading strategies using MT4Professional. But before we do that, we're going to go right into what a market scanner is and why a market scanner is so important in today's environment. We're going to talk about MT4Professional in detail. And of course, I'll give you a live demonstration of the platform, how it's used, how we set up and configure different strategies using our platform. And then I'll make you a very special offer at the end of today's presentation if you haven't already got started or going with MT4Professional yourself. And throughout today's presentation, there's always time for questions and answers. So please feel free to use the questions pane or the chat box to enter your questions or comments through today's presentation. So let's get right into it. There are some popular trading strategies that are available today that a lot of people use in scanners. The EMA and price is probably the most popular. It's a pure price action coupled with a exponential moving average. There's the MACD and signal, which is used in almost any strategy that I've seen. Most people use. That's a very popular one. There's a moving average crossover, which has a bunch of variations from turtle traders long-term to shorter-term fast crossover periods. And then there's the conglomeration of all the ones above, the EMA and price, a MACD and signal, even throw in a relative strength oscillator to determine the degree of overbought or oversold conditions. So the ever popular alligator and so forth. There's a lot of different strategies that we can talk about and that we'll go over today. The MT4Professional Scanner can scan any of these strategies in real time, plus many more, and alert you when these conditions are met for a trade. So let's start getting into these things. So what is a scanner exactly? If you look at MT4 just alone, there are 50 different Forex pairs, 20 CFDs, and 9 timeframes. All combined, that's more than 630 combinations of potential trade setups to look for and scan for. Do you think that you're able to do this manually? Do you think that you can go after any of these opportunities and you're not going to miss any? I don't think so. You're probably missing a lot of opportunities out there because at any one particular time, there's something trending in the market. There's some instrument or market out there that's moving and trending, and you want to be part of it. So trading using different instruments really is important. And you need to have a tool that can do it for you. And to make trading profitable, you really need to have a uncorrelated set of instruments that you're ready to trade all the time. It also diversifies your portfolio. So it's a great way to set up and to manage your account. So the perfect solution for this is a market scanner, something that can do that for you. A market scanner then is a tool that will automatically scan the market in any setup or situation based on your own symbols, based on your own time frame, based on your own rules, given any of the indicators that you want to use. So while it's not a signal provider, what it is a tool to allow you to analyze your strategies using the indicators that you want, set up just the way that you want it. Here's a simple example. Say if you had a scanner, the symbol list on the left, you can see over here, shows all the symbols that we might be interested in. These are just a few examples. Here I'm using Forex as an example, but you can use any example. There's a minute and 5 minute time frame. So if I wanted to see if, say, the euro US dollar was bullish coming in from a 1 to a 5 minute time frame, that might be some valuable information. Well, what's going to cause these cells to be these specific colors? Well, the example I show here is the cross of two moving averages. All right, so this image here shows that a green cell is a bullish cross, which means the fast moving average is crossing above or greater than the slow moving average. And the red cells identify a bearish cross where the MA15 is moving down or under the MA30, the slow moving average. So the idea behind this is to see where those crossovers occur, whether they're to the bullish side or to the bearish side. So for the Euro Swiss side right here, you see I have a bullish minute chart, but I have a bearish 5 minute chart. That could mean one of two things. One, I am in a correction on the 1 minute, which is out of alignment with the 5 minute, which could very soon turn back to red. That would be a great trade opportunity because I have a 1 minute chart coming back in line with my 5 minute chart. The same thing with the euro yen. I'm in a green longer term trend, but you can see I'm kind of out of trend with the shorter time frame. I could be correcting or I might be reversing. So if I see a green setup or a red setup, and then I see the longer time frame change to be equal to the shorter time frame, then I know that I've got a nice secure reversal setup and I'm looking at trading that. So there's a lot of information that you can get from a scanner if you have it set up properly and if you're using the strategies to your advantage. So a scanner really works for you. It helps you to focus on the more important things, like managing your trade or getting your mindset to where it needs to be. Setting up the market scanner is easy enough because what it does is it searches for all the conditions that meet your rules, identifies them, and alerts you when they're ready. So then all you have to focus on is execution management, because that's what trading really is all about anyway. It's trading the probabilities and managing the risk. And the money, which is what most people think about, really should only be secondary. That's what comes after you've done a good job on the first part, which is trading the high probability trade setups and managing your risk, getting in with the lowest possible risk and managing those trades to perfection. So here's another example of a spreadsheet type layout where you've got your symbol list on the left, identifying specific conditions that meet your criteria on the right on multiple time frames. This one is using an EMA and price. So I'm looking at pure price action relative to a 15-period exponential moving average. I want to see a green cell whenever price is greater than, closes above the EMA. And I want to see a red cell whenever the price is less than or closes below the EMA. So you can see over here, the dollar Canadian is a very bullish candidate, while the S&P and NASDAQ are both very bearish. The idea behind this is to be able to look and see multiple symbols and opportunities at a glance to see the opportunities that are set up. That's what I want to be able to look for. I mentioned multiple timeframes quite a few times. But did you know that trading with multiple timeframes gives you a higher probability of a profitable trade? Well, and that's due to correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple timeframe technical analysis. If you look at the charts on the right, you can see the noisy 15-minute chart relative to a fairly calm hourly chart relative to a calm 4-hour chart. Well, these are all the same data, but just in different resolutions or different granularity. So the direction that you trade the 15-minute, if it is in harmony with the 4-hour, will yield a higher probability of profit, because if you're trading the long trend, you're going to you'll have a greater opportunity for profit. If you're trading the short side of a long trend, these corrections won't last very long. So you need to keep your profit targets close if you're going to trade those. Otherwise, only trade the longs in the direction of the longer term trend. You're going to have a lower risk. You're going to have a higher probability of a trade ending profitably. So if you had a market scanner, then that could search for these types of trade setups, which are based on your rules, but verified with multiple time frame technical analysis, then that too would be an extremely valuable tool. Here's another quick example of using multiple time frames on your charts. Here's a 4-hour, a daily, and a weekly chart setup. You want to identify where the trade setup occurs. So here is a price action relative to an EMA. You can see at this point where I have the blue crosshair, price has closed above the EMA. You can also see there's a MACD indicator here, where you can see the histogram and the red line crossed. So you can see the histogram crossed up and greater than the red signal line, giving a bullish indication. You can also see the relative strength indicator. Two things. One, you can see it's coming out of an oversold condition, and you see that it's trending with strength. So it is this trend of strength that I'm mostly concerned about. I want to see this moving and trending long. So if I have a long signal here, a trend of strength here, and a close above, giving me a long signal here, these are very strong indications of a potentially bullish move. When I couple that with longer time frames, I look at the longer time frame, you can see the weekly is still in a very strong downtrend. But what is it that I see from the weekly trend? I see relative strength coming out of an oversold condition and trending with strength. On the daily chart, I can see a cross and close above. You can see a trend of relative strength here. So these are all conditions which strengthen my case and alert me to the fact that this trade is set up and I can go long here with the highest probability of a profitable trade. And in this particular case, with these signals lined up, this yielded over 300 pips of profit on a setup. And that's the value of the scanner. It tells you when these conditions are met on all the time frames and alerts you to that condition setup. So by taking trades in harmony with the longer time frame, you get lower trade risk and higher probability trades. So that's a powerful combination for any trader. It shows the importance of using multiple time frames, especially with the market scanner. A market scanner using these multiple time frame analysis techniques is an extremely valuable tool because it does all of the hard work for you automatically. And that's the idea behind that. Could I kindly repeat multiple time frame analysis once more? Okay. Well, the idea behind multiple time frame analysis is that you're looking for trades that are aligned with the longer time frame trend. So if you're trading a 15-minute chart, then if you're taking trades only in the direction of the longer term trend, you're going to have a higher probability of profit and a lower risk on your entry points. So you're trading the direction of the longer term trend. If you're trading counter direction to the longer term trend, then you're not going to have as high a probability of profit because the duration of the trade will be short-lived. Okay, so that's the idea behind that. But if the longer term trend starts to correct, then trading that direction will then yield a higher time frame trend. That's the idea behind multiple time frame analysis. You check the longer term trends to see, number one, does it give you the information you need to enter a shorter time frame chart? And that's what I was showing on this chart here, whereas I use my shorter time frame chart as my primary trade, but I confirm that the trade is good by checking the longer time frame relative strength, MACD, or other instruments that verify that this trade is set up and ready to go. If I were to check these trades set up back here, you can see I do have a MACD crossover. You can see I do have strong relative strength, but I don't have strong relative strength over on the daily chart. And I definitely have a declining relative strength on the weekly chart. So those are things that keep me out of trades in this area, but get me into trades in this area, which is what I really want. So that's the idea behind multiple time frame technical analysis. So from a scanner perspective, though, we looked on MT4 and MT5, but we couldn't really find any scanners that met our criteria. You know, as professional traders, we wanted to have a system that could be scanned for and using our own strategies to find them, but we really couldn't find any. The ones we did come across or find were too complex to configure. They were unstable. They could have been a single tool, which really wasn't integrated with the whole system, or they were incompatible, you know, with a lot of the indicators that most people use in the system. There's lots of other issues that we come across. So our solution was to do it ourselves. We decided to create MT4Professional for our own daily trading. And as a result, it's now the #1 market scanner on MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market for setups that match your unique criteria and rules. And when you find a setup, MT4Professional allows you to enhance your trading with technical analysis and multiple time frame analysis, which really isn't that easy to do on MT4 and MT5. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. And I'll show you a lot of the details with regards to the scanner here during our live demonstration, which is actually coming up right now. Let me go ahead and pull up my platform. Here I've got an MT4 platform running. This is standard MT4. I don't have MT4Professional running at the moment because I wanted to show you a few things that you probably already know that are standard with MT4 or MT5 for that matter. Number one, each of the windows are independent. Here I do have 3 different time frames, but each window is individual. I cannot align or look at this time frame without going through a bunch of memorization steps. So this probably isn't the best example. So let me see if I can find one. Here's potential right there. Notice how I have to drag and drop a symbol to every window in order to change the symbol. Also notice if I were to go to full screen that I lose a lot of real estate down here on the bottom with my windows. I have to physically drag the windows to make them correct. Now I can go up under the window here and resize them, and that automatically fills it in. And that works if all of my windows happen to be the same size. But every time I go through this process, I have to physically go back up and retile them. And again, if I have a workspace like this one, where I have multiple windows that are different sizes, notice how it clips off and cuts my windows up. In order for me to get these to resize, I can't just go under the window and retile them. It's going to mess everything up. So I have to go into a full screen. I have to physically drag each window up, resize these and then rescale them because they're different sizes in order to be able to use or plan on using all that extra real estate. And say I hit the F11 key and want to go into full screen mode. Well, full screen mode gives me both the horizontal and vertical axis of wasted space. I just don't like that at all. Looking at technical analysis, you can see that on this screen, I have to middle mouse click to get my cursor going. And then I have to look at the time and pull up another one here so I can see it. I have to look at the time on the bottom and the date to determine a relative location. And then I have to go to my other chart and look at the exact same time and date right there to see that relative location, to see the setup. And I have to go over to this time frame and date right there to see that this is the relative location. So I want to find out, okay, where is the best reversal opportunity? Well, I have to manually go through and do that on each chart, which is not easy to do. So let me pull up MT4Professional. The first thing you'll see with MT4Professional is a blank screen with a configuration load parameter. This allows me the choice to go through and set up any particular strategy that I'm interested in. First thing we're going to look at is the EMA and price. I'll go ahead and load that strategy. What this is a strategy that looks at price relative to a 15-period exponential moving average. So the 15-period average, if price closes below it, is bearish. And if it price closes above it, it's bullish. So the scanner is giving me these results. You can see that the 5-minute is bullish. Looks like the 15-minute is bearish because you can see I have a close under, and the 30-minute is bullish. Here I have a close above. Now it does not do the most recent bar. It only uses the previous bar. If you were to go to a different instrument, say the pound dollar, you can see that all three instruments have closed above and are trading in bullish territory. The dollar Canadian, they're all bearish. And so the idea behind this is you want to look for things which are starting to change or to trend in that direction. Also notice that the blue crosshair is aligned on all three of the charts. You can see that I have a very accurate alignment that I can visually see where the highs, the lows, the potential crossovers are right there. That looks like the best opportunity for me to be able to take an entry. That close below is verified with second time frame and is closing down on the third time frame. So there is a nice potential 32 pip trade that gave me an opportunity to take that setup. So that's the idea behind multiple time frame analysis using the tool set and the alignment tools that come standard with MT4Professional. Also notice that when I clicked on any symbol on this list, then you can see the symbol on all of the charts automatically changes. I don't have to drag and drop the symbols from my list over onto each one of my charts. Also notice when I go into full screen mode, all of the charts automatically resize to completely fill the real estate. So I don't have to worry about resizing or rescaling again because it automatically takes into account the real estate. That's an awesome tool. If you want to do in-depth analysis on any one particular chart, then all you have to do is just double click the tab, expand it to the size that you need, do your analysis on it, and then complete your analysis on that. So let's look at the setup and the rules that we use in order to make this happen. How do I get this scanner to change colors whenever the price action crosses above or below this moving average? So looking at the configuration panel, I'll click the edit button and it'll give me the opportunity to edit or to change the configuration for the charts. As you can see, I have three different charts laid out, a 5, a 15, and a 30. My 5-minute is larger than the other two So if I were to click on the cell here on the right, you can see I have 3 template windows laid out. 1, 2, 3. This one is larger than the other 2. They're very simple to set up and configure. I'll go ahead and clear all of them just to show you how easy it is. So I'll add 1, 2, 3 windows. You can see that there are 3 different windows that I've just loaded. Okay, I can tile them. Okay, tile the charts. So I set them up to tile them one way or the other. If I want to have them all vertical, then I can tile them all vertically and so forth. Say I don't want them to be totally vertical. I want them to be a little bit different in size. So I'll just move them around like this. And then scale them over like that. You know, play with it any way that you like. One size is bigger than the other. So you can set it up any way that you like. Change the time frame to be the time frames that you're most interested in. And always select a template that you're using. I like the EMA and price for this setup, but you can use any template that you want by clicking the plus sign and going to your template directory. Any template that you've created can be used within MT4Professional. Once you've loaded one into the pull-down menu, then it automatically becomes available in all of the pull-down menus. When you're done, just click the OK button. I'm going to hit the cancel button because I don't want to change my current configuration. And if there is a configuration that you like, you can start from any other configuration and it will pull in the exact same configuration from that setup and make it default for this setup. If you click on the scanner panel over on the left-hand side, as opposed to this side, then you get the access to both the symbol list and the scanner panel. The symbol list gives you the opportunity to set up the list of symbols that are on your scanner right here and to create any symbol that you like. Over on the left-hand side are all of the symbols you have available on your MT4 or MT5 platform. Just find the one that you're interested in or the group of the ones. By holding the control key down, you can select a lot of different other ones. Hit the right arrow key to automatically load them onto the list. If you already have some of them loaded, then it'll let you know that. If you don't want them on there anymore, just remove them. When you're done, just click the OK button and you're ready to go. You can type in a filter key like a EUR, and any of the symbols that come up with the euro on them will automatically be listed for you. And then there's the scanner panel. This is where all the work comes on. So within the scanner panel are the rules. These are the rules that the algorithm follows in order to create your strategy. So the first one I call a main color rule. These are the rules that the algorithm follows to color each of the cells. The main color rule is ticked on, and this is an edit button. So by clicking that button, it allows me to edit the strategy. So the conditions that it evaluates once it starts is first condition set 1. Then if it's true, it'll set that cell to be this color. Or it's going to check to see if condition set 2 is true. If it's true, then it will set the cell to be this color. Now you can see there's a small pull down menu here. You can set the color to be anything that you like for either of these cells. I happen to like green for bullish and red for bearish, but you can make those any colors that you like. Then what it does is it looks at these conditions. It says, is comparing item A within the operator constraints of comparing item B? So in this case, the close of price has to be greater than or equal to the 15-period exponential moving average. Well, these are items that I pulled up from scratch. So let me go ahead and add one more condition here and show you how I did it. I clicked the plus sign. I chose an indicator. From the indicator category, I selected price. And then from the indicator list, I chose the part of price that I was interested in. In this case, it's the close. Okay. What I'm going to do is I want to choose the open. So it's something different because I already have the close. So I'm going to choose the open in this case. All right, so let's use that indicator. Comes up and says the parameters. There are really no parameters with that because it's just pure price. The shift is just basically moving it back and forth in time. So you can look at 2 bars back, 3 bars back, 4 bars back, and so forth, and compare it with maybe the one that is current. Okay. So we'll select that. So it comes up as the open. Notice I have the closed, the MA15, and now the open as available parameters within my drop-down menu. The operator, you have a selection of any operators that you can do. These are logical operators that look at the item on the left and compare it to the right based upon this. So I want this to be set up. Really what I want to do is I'm going to make something a little bit more meaningful. So I'm going to choose a different indicator. I want to go through the trend and I'm going to set up a moving average. I'll use that and I'm going to set this moving average to be a 50 period simple moving average, okay, based upon the closer price. That's what I want to use. So here's a 50 period simple moving average. So I want to see if my 15 period is greater than the 50 period simple moving average. That would be a bullish setup because I have not only is price greater than the 15 period, but now my 15 is greater than my 50. That's a much more bullish condition. So I would like to see that. Second condition is going to see what the bearish state is. Well, I have closed less than the 15. Let's go ahead and add this other condition that we just made. Let's see if that 15 is also less than my 50. Simple. See how easy that is? Once you identify what you want and what your strategy is, it's just a matter of looking on your platform to see the indicator, to identify the parameters, and to set it up. Once it's set up, then MT4Professional takes care of the rest. It does all the work for you, looking through all the instruments and timeframes and doing this type of work for you. So let me go ahead and click OK. Once you've set that up, I've got this same rule set running on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and on the 30-minute timeframes. Of course, these are just arbitrary timeframes. You can see I can select any time frame that I want that's available to me on the platform. So select OK. Once you've completed setting this up, then click the Save button. Make sure that you save it. What this does is it saves it to your computer and it backs it up in the cloud. It saves this on the backup so that if anything goes wrong, you'll always have a backup of your configuration. And say that you're working with a group of friends and you have a configuration that you just put together and you want to share it with them. The share icon in the bottom right-hand corner is available for you to share all of your configurations with any other people that you work with. So everybody can be on the same page at the same time, and you don't have to worry about losing anything at all because everything is backed up in the cloud. So let me go ahead and close this window. And every time you save or change a configuration, always make sure that you reload that configuration. So click load and we'll put it back in again. So now, not only am I looking for a cross above or below, but I'm also looking to see if there is a cross of the 15 above a 50 simple moving average. And so if there's a condition where you have a cross above, but the 15 is not above the 50, you can see some of the cells might be turning yellow. And I might want to modify this by adding a moving average onto my list. So if I were to go over here under trend and look for moving average, then I'll just go and drag and drop that onto the chart. I want to make that a 50 period exponential. The first one is blue, so I'm going to make this one cyan, aqua. Yeah, let's make it aqua. All right, so there's my 50 period. I probably should have made it red. It's probably a little bit more standard, isn't it? No, not the pink, red. Red's down there somewhere, isn't it? There it is. There we go. All right. So I want to make sure it looks like they're equal. at that point. So you will get some unknown setup, but it still is a little bit, could be, yep, that's greater than now. So in that case, you would have that greater than cell. So let me save this template as EMA price. Let me go back into my configuration. Pull up my charts and see I've got EMA price loaded, but now I've updated it. So what I need to do is go out and reload it. So by clicking the plus sign, I will find EMA price, open it and load it, make sure that it's reloaded on all of my charts, select OK, and that saves it back into the cloud. So now I've got my current template backed up into the cloud and saved. So I'm going to go ahead and close this out and load it, and then I'll have that same configuration setup loaded on all three of my charts. Oh, looks like I didn't do it. I must have not done it properly. Let me go through that one more time. That was exponential. I want simple. All right, so template. Save template. That's what I did wrong. I just loaded it. I didn't resave it. Save template. I want to replace it. Yes, that's what I want. That's what I didn't do last time. You guys should have caught me on that. All right, so let me reload that EMA price. Save it, update it, and then load it. Now I've got the EMA with the 50 on both of my charts automatically. And every time it comes up, it will automatically be in that configuration. So I don't have to worry about it. And it'll be that way. Now, you know, the scans of each of these are going to be scanning for both of the 15 period and the 50 SMA relative to direction. So that's how easy it is to configure. Are there any questions so far? Anything that you'd like for me to go back over again? Any details that you'd like to see a little bit better? If not, then I want to go into a little bit more complex or complicated setup. I got one that's called my MACD right here. Let me load that one up. This one is set up using a 4-hour daily and weekly chart setup. This is similar to the example I showed you during the presentation. And this is going through and looking at multiple setups where it's looking at not only price and the moving average, but it's looking at the MACD and signal line, and it's looking at relative strength. So if the relative strength slope is positive, which means that it's sloping up, I want to know that. I want to be able to calculate that and determine if that is bullish or bearish. I also want to see the cross of the histogram here relative to the simple moving average signal line here. So that cross would be bullish for me. A positive slope would be bullish, and a close above this 15 period exponential moving average would also be bullish. Coupled with that, I would like to see if the slope on the relative strength on the daily is positive, or if I have a close above the 15 period EMA. And I would like to see on the longer term weekly chart if the overall trend is bullish or bearish. Is it below the 15 or is it above the 15? I can also check to see if the relative strength is bullish or bearish as well. I can do any of that at any point. So let's look at the configuration here and see what it is that I did set up. So by looking at the, let me close this and move this out of the way so I can see the chart here. Edit that. Let's look at the scanner configuration to see the rules that I used to set up a strong signal. So a strong signal, whether it's bullish or bearish, will be defined by this. The MACD, in this case, the MACD base indicator, that's the white histogram, has to be less than the MACD signal line. That's the red line that we saw on the chart. So this red line here has to be greater than the histogram itself. That would be bearish. And, well, this has to be true also. So the MACD has to cross, the close of price has to be less than the 15-period exponential moving average. So this price has to be less than that blue line. And relative strength, the close of relative strength 2 bars ago has to be greater than the current relative strength. So we're looking at the slope. So if you're right here, you look 2 bars back. If that relative strength is greater than this relative strength, that would be bearish. So this relative strength 2 bars ago, move 2 bars in the future, negative slope, bearish. That's what you're looking for. That's the idea behind determining slope. If none of these conditions, or even if one of these conditions is not true, this would not be evaluated. It would not be turned red. It would go to the very next condition set, which is 2. It would look to see if, well, if it's not, if this isn't true, then I got to check these. Is the MACD greater than the signal line? Is price greater than the 15 period? And is my relative strength slope positive, which means the price 2 bars ago is less than the current price. If that's all true, then it would be colored green or bullish. If neither of these conditions are true, because I don't have any other conditions to look at, it will color the default color yellow, meaning that it's in setup, nothing is signaling yet, and it's not ready to trade. That's how simple it is. You probably noticed earlier that I had 2 different color rules. One's called a strong signal. The other is a weekly trend. Well, if you look down here on the weekly chart, then you'll see that it has the weekly trend turned on while the strong signal is turned off. So I'm not necessarily interested on the weekly chart in determining a trade setup. I just want to know if I'm trending. So that's what I want the weekly cell to show me, is whether it's trending long or if it's trending short. You can see that you don't have any limitations. You're limited by your own imagination. You can set these parameters up to be whatever that you like. Once you're done, save it, close it out, and reload it. And then everything loads right back up just the way it was, to test and determine just the way that you like it. Now, these are using any of the setups and indicators that you have access to on your platform. But what if you've made your own indicators? Or what if you've purchased some third-party indicators from a different vendor? Do you want to use those? MT4Professional is fully compatible with any of those indicators as well. So you don't have to worry about not having something work for you. It's all set up and ready to go. If you look at the configuration list, there's a section that's called presets. The presets are all of the configurations that we have already made for you. There's 14 of them in all. And we've created these presets using strategies, MACD, the EMA and price, the alligator, and RSI reversals and so forth, price patterns examples. So we're looking at specific things that help you to have a strategy, to get started with setting up your own strategy for that matter. So you can use these to create your own custom configurations based upon those setups, and then just change them a little bit or a lot if you so choose to set up the price that you're looking for. Now I want to show you something right now. If I were to drag over my browser, now my browser is representative of a mobile device. Say it's my iPhone or my tablet device or my laptop. I can set up and run MT4Professional on my laptop or my mobile device simply by going over to my real-time scanner by logging into the MT4Professional members area on your browser. Log into the members area and click on the real-time scanner link at the top of the page. From here, you can select the account that your MT4 is running on. This in the background you can see is my MT4 application running on my computer, which is at my desk, and say that I wanted to go to lunch. I just take my mobile device with me to lunch, log into MT4Professional's members area, click on real-time scanner, pull up the account that references this particular one, and then automatically links the scanner and the charts to my mobile device. So you can see in real time the scanner working alongside the main platform at your desk. So once you see a configuration that comes up and says this is a potential trade setup that you want to take notice of, you can click on the symbol. Notice when I click on it, it automatically changes the symbol on my computer back at my desk and creates a symbol, a chart that shows me that particular setup. And then I can see at that point, that looks like a potential trade setup. Looks like it's in line with exactly what I want it to do. You pull up your mobile trader, you get connected to your broker, you execute the trade right there. You don't have to worry about it because you see on your screen right there what the conditions are and that they're met for your trade. And that's all you're waiting for is that confirmation. It automatically sent you a snapshot. It showed you the setup and you already knew it was ready to go. So you don't have to worry about missing a trade because it goes with you. While we're here in the members area, I'll show you a few other things. You can see that the software can be downloaded directly from the main panel on any screen. So whatever screen that you go to, you can download the software directly from any of those pages. We have an onboarding process to help you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps into getting set up and fully going on any of your platforms. So we help you to set up and refer everything. We point you in the direction of our help and documentation center, which is our knowledge base, to help you get pointed to the quick start videos, the configuration guide, the scanner rule guide, and all of the settings. And even if you have questions about the subscription, whether to change your credit card payment, how to unsubscribe or cancel at any time, then all of that is available to you right here in the knowledge base area on our members portal. You can manage all of the snapshots that you take with the system. Notice there's a small camera button available on MT4Professional that allows you to take a quick snapshot of a trade or setup that maybe you're interested in. And all of those snapshots can be tagged and organized over here on the left or displayed over on the right. And then you can make any of these private or public. And then if you make them public, then we provide you a link that enables you to share them on any of the social media that you are involved with and provide any comments associated with that on that list. If you do get an alert through the system, then the members area has an alert panel here as well. So if you're off having lunch and you want to see the alerts will come through the alerts panel here to show you that the time frame, the symbol, what scanner is being used, and a link to the setup image so that you can see and verify whether that's correct or not. And we also, for your convenience, provide you with convenient analysis and announcements to let you know when new software releases are provided for you or when anything that's coming on line is enabled and so forth. And so we want to make sure and keep you up to date on everything that's happening from the home front. And then you can always set up anything in your settings. So you can, from your settings menu, you can set up your your profile, your credit card information, your subscription information, and all that information can be found right here in the settings panel. Are there any other questions? If not, then I want to go back to my presentation real quickly and make you a very special offer for those of you who haven't got started with MT4Professional yet. MT4Professional comes with both MT4 and MT5 full-featured software. We give you exclusive access to our Skype community where you can interact with all of the users. We give you unlimited configuration storage, emails, push notifications, up to 100 SMS notifications every month, and all 14 of our pre-configured presets. This is what we value the system at, but it's not what we make it available to you for. For a limited time, we make it available at $194 per month. But because you're part of my webinar today, I've knocked that down by 50%. So for $97 a month, you get access to all of the software and all of the access and the value that I've shown here. You also get 14 days free trial to use this anytime during the 14 days to see if it works for you. The link made available is mt4professional.com/trial. We've made the link available in the chat box there for you to click on for your convenience. So click on that link, go to our website, check it out a little bit. If you get started on the 14-day trial, then you can cancel at any time during the 14-day trial, and you'll still get the full 14 days to use and to evaluate the software. At the end of the 14-day trial, after 3, maybe 4 reminders, we'll let you know that the subscription will start charging at the end of the 14-day period. So make sure that you cancel before the 14 days are over to avoid the subscription charge. But notice the subscription charge discount will be applied to your subscription for the life of your subscription. That means you keep your discount. It doesn't go away after 30 days. It doesn't go away after a quarter or even a year. It's a lifetime subscription discount. So once you lock it in, it's yours forever until you cancel. If you have any questions, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. We'll be glad to get back to you, and we promise we'll get to you within 24 hours to make sure we answer all of your questions and give you a quick and speedy response to your issues. Most of the time, we'll get back to you well within 24 hours, but we don't want to ever go beyond 24-hour response time. So are there any other questions? Anything else I can go over that you might be interested in? Any other setups that might be of interest? This is an example of some third-party software. If you're looking at the setup, I think it was this one here. Where's what we're looking at? Yeah. You're looking at a potential integration issues. Then how do you get the scanner to do multiple scans on multiple time frames and multiple settings all at the same time? Now, this looks like it's a little bit more complicated. Well, that's true. It is. We don't limit you. If you have a complicated software system, then we make MT4Professional available for you. And if you happen to have a system or a strategy that cannot be directly loaded, then you too can configure MT4Professional directly to do that with our help. So we can customize a strategy or an EA for you that'll set up and trade your strategy for you. So just let us know if you're interested in that, and we'll be more than glad to set that up for you. The tools that you see on the screen are part of the Hawkeye software base, which is a software tool set that was part of creating over the long period of time. And I use it all the time in my trading. But if you're interested more in that, then Claudio has provided a link to getting started with the volume starter package which is a set of tools that allow you to get going with the software. Let me pull up the starter package itself. I think I've got that here. Right, there it is. These are a set of tools that show you volume on your price charts, and it gives you the ability to identify these volume reversal areas. So where do you see volume pointing you in the direction that it needs to go? Because it's one of the very few leading indicators in the market. So the starter package that we have the link to there, we are affiliates with Hawkeye on that. So we've got them to give us a really good discount. Normally they have a subscription for $497 a month for these subscriptions. We've got this down to $97 one-time fee, $97 for this software package, which gives you the pivot points, the wide bar indicators, the volume paint bars, the actual volume indicator itself, which gives you bullish, bearish, and neutral pressure. And it works on MT4 because most people say volume doesn't work on MT4, but here I've got living proof that it does, and it is very valuable in your trading. So if you're not using volume in your trading today, then you're definitely at a disadvantage, because you can see where the congestion is, you can see where the bullish or the bearish pressure is. You want to make sure that you're trading in line and in harmony with that. So that's a good trading tool set to get started with, and we're making it available to you as part of our webinar today. So it's kind of quiet today. I don't know if there are any other questions, or if there's any other systems that you might be using that we can demonstrate and show for you here. I'll be glad to do that. We've got about 3 more minutes left, so if there aren't other questions, you can always go back and find out more information on our website. Click the link mt4professional.com/trial to get started on your 14-day free trial of the system to see if it will work for you and do all the things that you want it to do. Or always get a hold of us then at support@mt4professional.com. We'll create a ticket for you, and we'll get right back to you with the answer to any of your solutions. All right, then. Well, thank you very much for your time and your attention. We hold these live webinars every 2 weeks on Monday, same time. So we'll be more than glad to be here to answer your questions in the future. And if you have any questions on the meantime, either use the email support or contact us on the Skype channel. And we'll be more than glad to help you directly in real time on our Skype support. Thank you very much. And you guys have a great rest of your week. Trade safe and make sure that you follow your rules. Bye for now.